Hi guys, welcome to Untitled Channel, and we will do a pick a card reading today. And the question is, what is he thinking about you? So this person and you could be in a love relationship, or it's just like have a mutual feelings between you, but not in a relationship yet. So I want you to take a deep breath and really focus on thinking about that person and choose one of these decks. So to make it easier for you to choose the deck, I have picked out my this is my eye pencil that I have bought. So first of all is the brown one. This is the brown eye pencil. So that is deck number 1. For deck number 2 is pink pencil. That is deck number 2. And for deck number 3 is purple. So that's deck number 3. And the last deck, deck number 4, is green pencil. So just take a deep breath, thinking about the other person, the one that you are thinking about. It's not all about the sexuality, guys. So just think about the other person. It depends on the masculine or the feminine energy. So masculine for the one who plays like a man role in the relationship or the connection between you two, and the feminine energy is playing the woman role in the connection or a relationship of you two. So when you're done, click on the timestamps below that I posted in the description, and if you want a further reading to me, all the information is in the description. So thank you guys. Okay, we'll be moving on to the first deck, which is the brown pencil. So I have a total of 10 tarot cards here from different decks, and these two, which from the good tarot deck, is to describe your true personality that person has witnessed. These two cards is how your personality perform in a relationship between you two. These cards are what he really enjoy about your personality. This card is what he's afraid of your personality, and the last two cards is what he's going to do with all the personalities that he had witnessed from you. So for your true personality, we have the World and the Ten of Water. So basically he see you as a very positive person and like a very down to earth, and also when you start something you want to finish it. You are not a kind of easy to give up person. So that is your truest personality, and everything you do in life you try to look in the most positive way as possible, and like you want to cheer everyone's up. And I feel like your motto is, when it's not finished, when things are not going well, it means it's not finished. With you, every ending is a happy ending. So that's what he perceived like the most outstanding personality traits from you. So what he sees your personality put in the relationship between you and him is Knave of Swords and the Four of Chalices. So Knave of Swords is talking about like a person who is very decisive, decisive, and very like talk the talk and can walk the walk. But sometimes it's not about talk the talk and walk the walk. You rather talk and then run. So sometimes you want to do something and you decide immediately, which is in a kind of rush, and sometimes things go in right direction, luckily, but for him you may to have to like slow down a little bit before like you are going to the wrong direction and can gain the result that you didn't want to. And he also see that in the relationship you are the kind of person who is very easy to say like uh it's not your intention, but sometimes you have to slow down and think a little bit before you saying something, because those things you say that you might think that is normal, but sometimes it hurts others feeling. And you are I feel like he sees that you are the one who has been in this kind of personal trait like forever, because you always have a tendency to not thinking before you're saying, and then you end up with like regret about what you said. Even though the other person may or may not forgive you, you always think about that, and it always like burdens you. But this has becomes a habit, and you cannot like fix it. They fix it only by one day or something. You have to very commit into fixing these things to be like not saying like easily hurt people feelings anymore. So that is the kind of traits that he thought that you put the most in the relationship. And with these cards, which is the Acrobat, Page of Stones, which is Earth, and the Muse, Queen of Spirals, which is Queen of Swords. So he sees that you are very wise. I mean, like, you are very intelligent, and maybe you have like a good base of knowledge. You like to study, even you are committed to higher study. But somehow he's in his mind it's like you're still like you're very intelligent, but just because of these things that I'm talking about, is like you sometimes don't think before you actually say. So that somehow makes people perceive you as the acrobat, which is the flexible, like the one who did things very quickly, but sometimes can end up very badly, not as wise as the muse or the queen of swords here. So but these kind of traits in my mind, that he thinks that you need to fix a little bit, but he's not that bothered about it. Actually, he thinks that is very cute, and maybe he's like older soul or more mature than you in how like in a relationship, like how to treat the other one. So he's very calm, and he can handle all those things because he always see you like as like naive as a child, and always want the most positive things in the world. And he really understand you, that somehow you did not want to say that intentionally, but that's just the how the way you are. He just want to fix that, because like to avoid you like making mistakes with other people who not understands you, and may like result in a bad way for you. And but these are the two cards that he's gonna be like I can say that afraid or hate most from your personality is the Four of Swords and the Ten of Swords. This is like the combination. I feel like when it makes a combination with these two cards, it creates like sometimes he see you like as a very sensitive person who is very it's like you're easy to be positive, but somehow you're also easy to be negative. But in the end, you will pick yourself up in a positive way. But before that, there are maybe some unfortunate behaviors that you will make to make people feeling hurt. For example, the Four Swords and the Ten Swords. The Four Swords is talking about someone who is like thinking in the background, means that something may not happen, but in their mind, when they pick some kind of evidence, just a little bit of evidence, they try to like things a little bit way more than what the fact is really is. For example, he doesn't text you back, for 5 minutes, and then you begin to think like, oh, why is he behave like that? He never behaves like that, so it must be something wrong. And then you start to say something hurt feelings for people. And for me, like, this is very consistency in what he's really think most about, and and the and the one that he also afraid the most, because he really thinks if you do not right now you're at a very like normal level that he perceive you as cute, and maybe it also he's a little bit like dominant, so that's why he wants to like want to change you, want to make you change to, and then it makes him happy like when you follow his words and change. But he really afraid that if you don't follow his words, if you don't really take this seriously and listen to his words, his advice about changing this behavior, you will become not so positive anymore but more extremely negative. You can think all the things in the world, and then things may result badly you even for you and in his relationship, not for the others but in the relationship as well. So it's like it's it's like this is like the call out for you to like stop and looking at yourself again, whether or not these traits like harm your relationships in so many ways, and it's time to fix these things and don't like let go things work out naturally anymore. And what he wants to do to with you in the relationship is Knight of Swords and the Four of Chalices. I really think like the things he start to feel nervous and irritated when you are like saying those hurtful things like that with him. And at one time, really, or right now, he really thinks to, I would have said like to teach you a lesson, like to break up with you or to run away or to not talking with you, like, or to just let all things out in the most truthful way as possible, even it hurt you, for you to know that those behaviors that you are performing, the ones that you didn't think much about and then just say hurtful things to people, will result in the worst scenario, which is maybe is the breakup in this relationship. He wants to show you that in order, it's like he's thinking like there's no way that I can teach her or talk to her normally to make her fix this kind of problem anymore. It is time to show her like some real consequences if she just continue like that, because you seem like you cannot get rid of that. So that's what on his mind now. But uh let me uh let me pull out some advice for you. Now I will use the Goddess Oracle deck from Colette Baron-Ray to advise you what will you do in this kind of situation. What advice from which goddess can be helpful for you right now? But at first, it's like obviously you have to like stop these kind of behaviors, because it's also a toxic kind of behavior. Even though you're very naive, you're very like straightforward, but this sometimes hurt people's feelings. And if it hurts stranger, if it hurts someone that it doesn't matter to you, so maybe somehow you don't give like a care about it. But if it hurts someone that you love, it's time to really consider about it. And the advice for you is from Goddess Saraswati. Okay, let me read what Saraswati want to advice for you. Sarvasti, mastery is a genuine sense of effortless knowledge after a period of dedicated immersion. The Hindu goddess Saraswati asks you to enter her domain of art, language, knowledge, music, and poetry, and make this commitment to go the distance. Immerse yourself, body, mind, and spirit in discovering all aspects of what is at hand. Learn and then learn more. right now, if you adopt the role of apprentice and are willing to devote your heart and mind to something, you will become a true master. Deep wisdom knows only continuous learning. No matter what question you've come to explore, the goddess Saraswati reminds you that the pursuit of mastery is never ending, so enjoy every minute of it. Okay. So it's like Saraswati is the perfect advice for someone who is very willing to do or change something, but they can only like go and give the effort to try to change it in the short term period, and after those period, they begin to be feel not so much motivated anymore, and they are easily let go of their objectives like in long term. So Saraswati here is to say to you that mastery of something is not gonna happen 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, but you have to very put your commitment into that for a long time, make it to become a habit, and change your totally mindset about it. That's the only way to mastery something, and in this case I really think it's consistent to the behaviors uh, that this person has pointed it out, maybe, or thinking about to change in you, like the thinking really carefully before you saying hurtful things to other people. Well, I hope you enjoy your reading, and if you want to be deeper reading with me, just contact me in the information that I provide below, and thank you for watching. Okay, welcome to group number 2 for who picked the pink pencil. Okay, let's see what is he thinking about you. So start off with 2 cards for your true personality in the relationship. True personality that outside the relationship. 2 cards for your personality that what you put in the relationship between you and him. What personality of you does he like the most? And what kind of personality that he's scared or afraid or don't like of you? And finally, what he wants to do with kind of your personality in a relationship. Alright. So first off, this is from the Good Tarot. He sees you as a person who is full of knowledge, which is represented by the Queen of Air, and a Four of Fire, which is like the kind of person who is really like commitment or like something stable, who does not like want to BS around, or who does not like accept everything that gave to her, but as long as it's worth with her, she accepts it. So you're the kind who knows like most of the things, has very high knowledge, and do not accept any BS that happens around you. You select your friends, you select your relationships, you select your world. The world surrounds you very carefully, so you prevent any kind of BS that likely to happen to the lowest risk. So that is your pure personality that he can perceive very easily. And when in a relationship, you are a very like straightforward person, but you are somehow like, how can I say, like very naive, I would say. No, it's not naive, like he perceive you like you are a very intelligent woman in general, but in love you're full of like conflict and argument for yourself. Like I think that he thinks like in love or regards to love or like relationship, marriage or something, you are very in conflict with yourself, and do not know what you want. So Ten of Swords is talking about some kind of person who has been through many hurtful things in life, and that is like the reason why he thinks that it may affect your personality right now in the current relationship. But somehow you hurt you may realize it or not realize it, but somehow your ultimate goal, or as at least is what he see from you when you put in this relationship, is you are so full of hope. You're dreamy, you are so full of hope that it will be ending in a good way, and there will be a commitment, there will be a house, there will be a home with full children, and a dog maybe, and you can be like the mother of his child. But as long as he see like your personality, your real personality, from this relationship is somehow needs to be like reconsider, because he's also in doubt, like you're so hurtful right now. And in his mind right now, he knows that you want this, you want this commitment, you want this like life full of uh bonding with other people, with him, and maybe the future children, a family. But you're so deeply hurt before, and somehow that prevents you to go, or like your mindset, and it affects your behavior also into getting what you really want. So that is the clearest thing that he see from your personality when you're in the relationship. And the personality that he likes from you the most is like you are somehow, because maybe the hurtful things in the past has strained you perhaps, so he sees you as a very thoughtful person. You think you're maybe a Virgo, or somehow you are very strong at performing the Virgo personalities, Virgo traits, because you think every scenario is possible to prevent the worst things happen in any kind of things. For example, before you going for a trip with him, for example, you always double check the list, like the things to do list. Are you turning off the gas? Are you lock the door? Or did you forget something? Did he forget something? You will ask him, hey babe, did you forget your medicine that 3 days ago the doctor like said to you that you need to take it on time? Somehow like that. You are a very taking care, maybe mother, maybe wife and girlfriend like he has ever had, and he really appreciated, because only the person who cares for the other person mostly will taking care of those details, little things, especially from the woman. And yet somehow you are very like uh when you go when you really have fun, when you really relax, when you really let go of all your worries, which he thinks in he, he thinks in the current situation right now is you rarely, but fortunately he has seen this kind of behaviors before in you. When you really let go of all your worries, all your anxieties, you are very like manage to do things the way that is very successful. And what he wants to say to you is sometimes control everything is gonna be make you more tired. Sometimes in something it's best for it to let it happen naturally. And and he also appreciated, but somehow he wants to bring this back into your like daily personal life again, because he thinks that this personality trait has somehow been forgotten. And what is he really afraid of you is somehow like, do you see the coincidence? It happens in both the cards for your strongest trait, and also and also for the cards for the traits that he afraid from you the most. Because the fool is sometimes do not like know how to control the situation so much, it just go the way. So depends on your mindset. What is he thinking right now is not so well. You're sometimes like maybe thinking too much because you are deeply hurt before. You totally can go to another wrong way, that and then it will result in the bad consequences for not only your inner relationship with him, but also with other relationships. And and I see there's a Queen of Wands right here, which is I think that he perceives you as a person when you are determined and want to do something, you don't think carefully before doing it. So it may result in like not not like what you want to. And somehow Queen of Wands also talking about the woman who is like, I do not want to say the puppet master, but somehow she is, because she, like Queen of Wands are different from King of Wands. King of Wands is that like the person who talk the talk and walk the walk, and what he does is extremely, and like to cut out, like the ultimate solution to cut out something or to solve the problem, like ultimately. And what difference between King of Wands and Queen of Wands is King of Wands actively do it himself, while King of Wands is the person, while the Queen of Wands is the person who may borrow the other hands to do it for her. So it's like somehow like manipulative a little bit, and also to prevent taking the responsibility in the future if something bad happened by that behavior. So he's kind of afraid a little bit from this kind of personal trait, and he doesn't want like he hopes that it does not like happen to him, like you would never do that to him. What but what I see right now, like what he wants with you in this relationship is he really loves you, that's all. Like he really understands what you have been through. He appreciates you for your witness mind, and also he believes that with his truthful love, because this is one cup and two cups, he really find, I see that despite that in inner you, there's a lot of conflicts between your mind and your heart, like what you really want. But he really wants to give you this truthful love. He really does love you and appreciate you, and just like want to take care. He believes that all your bad traits always come from that past of you, like the hurtful times that shape you into that very I would have say a very down to earth woman, and sometimes not that very loving, but he understands all that, and he wants to give you his full cup of love, and he really finds like a best accompany kind of vibe from you. So I will pull a card from the Goddess Oracle deck from Collect Baron Raid to see which goddess want to give you the advice that you need to do in this kind of situation. We have Freya. Freya is the Nordic goddess, and her keyword of advice is the radical acceptance. So I will read it for you, the information about Freya, so that you can have the idea of what this advice might help you. There are times when you find yourself stuck between worlds, unable to go back to the way things were, and afraid to move forward without knowing what you are facing. This indecision can be crippling, but you can stay forever in between. The goddess Hecate offers you sacred alignment tasks. Make a move. Oh, I'm sorry, I have read the wrong one. Sorry about that, because they already look alike. I will read it again about Freya, radical acceptance. Failure and disappointment are parts of life that few want to accept. Perhaps a job you want doesn't come through, a lover you thought was the one betrays your hopes and expectations, or maybe your kids are acting out. Maybe a long-time creative project didn't yield the success you so dearly hoped for, or perhaps you were hurt by someone for no apparent reason. Goddess of war and radical acceptance, Freya, says, have no fear, this is only temporary. Now is not the time to linger in perceptions of low self-worth. Your alignment task is to accept the truth wholeheartedly and see your situation exactly for what it is. She will bring you to a place of surrender where you have time to heal. Freya knows that you will emerge stronger and wiser. Only good will come out of this. Trust the goddess Freya is watching over you. So goddess Freya is advising you about accept your past. It's like you are in denial of overcoming your past and still thinks whoever the person may hurt you in the past, the other person also wants to hurt you in the same way. And it's not the truth. Every person is different, and what you experienced in the past with that jerk of an ass, it doesn't necessarily that this person right now, the current one, is also like this person, as long as the tarot cards like say to me, he really does dearly love you. So if you continuously live in the past and like behave on those past which is not in the present, this person never acts something that wrong to you, it may end up in a very tragical way, and you may lose, like I would have said, like maybe the loss of your life, because who knows, the when you meet someone love you this dearly, it's kind of a diamond in this life full of coal. So be careful on like keep acting like based on the hurtful feelings that you experienced in the past, because it may continuously result in a very hurtful way in the present and maybe in the future. There's a one very famous lesson on this kind of experiences is only you overcome it, or if you just keep on doing it, it will repeatedly happen to you until you realize that you have to change. Only by then your life will be get better and not gonna make some same mistakes anymore. So I hope you are satisfied with your reading, and if you want to contact me for a deeper reading, links in the description and all the information you needed in the description as well. Bye bye, group number 2. Hello again for who chose group number 3, which is the purple pencil. So here we are. What is he thinking about you? So we have these 2 cards from the Good Tarot. Is about your true personality, that he perceives you before even the relationship happens. These 2 cards is about the personality that he sees you from within the relationship. These 2 cards is about what personality of you that he likes or admire the most. These 2 cards is about the personalities of you that he scared the most, or hate or don't like so much, or want to fix from you the most. And this is what he wants to like do in you and him relationship. So first of all, 2 of water and 9 of water. So wow, congratulations group 3, you're very like compatible with your partner, and even he very perceive you as a very independent woman. You don't depend on anyone to bring you happiness, because you can create it yourself, even mentally happiness or physically happiness. So he's very appreciate you from that, and I think because of these reasons that he decided to be spend his time with you, like maybe for a long time. That's what I perceive from the cards. And what he sees your personality in a relationship between you two is Ace of Swords and Queen of Chalices. So you are a very determined and decisive person, and also a very like kind-hearted and a kind of person that he can talk with you about anything, and he trusts that you will sit down and listen and also compromise with him. And you're the type of girl who, after listening, you will provide like solutions for him to make the situation better or to solve his problem. Like you're very intelligent, and you never like just want to give the advice is very mediocre, and just to make him feel better. You really know what he likes and what to do to make him feel better, by just how but just how the way you decisive and your mind like caring about him. So by those small kind of words, small advices, or maybe even behaviors, actions, just small things, you never do something like very exaggerated, but he feels very caring and very loved by you, and that's what he appreciated. What kind of personality from you that he likes the most is Ten of Stones and Knight of Stones. So you are a very practical woman. You are very down to earth. You never dreamy or do something like very obnoxiously crazy or head high up in the sky. And that's what he really feels like from you. He feels like you are very like, so see this kind of witch that holding the selenite, and selenite is the represent of the goddess Selene, and she is the represent, and also this stone selenite is represent of the balance between the mentally, spiritually, and physically work. So he sees you as someone who has everything, like everything within yourself already, and the reason that you and he become together is just to make the world and make each other's life better. You do not need him to fill in the gap or fill in the hole or to complete you. You complete yourself already, but now you want to do something more to be evolved or to, well, like help his life to become a better person because of you. And the illusionist, which is the Knight of Stones, is somehow who is very determined and slowly walk on every step, step by step, very precisely to get what she really wants. The illusionist is talking about someone who has the very clear image what she wants in her mind and make a very precise plan to do it, and step by step she follows it. She's adapted, she's flexible with it, and then bam, she got it. It's like she never give up in the middle of the road, and whatever happens she try to overcome the challenges and get that goal. And now we're talking about like the traits that he may be scared, don't like, or he somehow wants to fix from you the most is the Queen of Pentacles and the Seven of Chalices. So I can easily see that you are, again, you are a very practical woman, and sometimes he afraid that being practical like that, sometimes he just wants someone to listen, not someone to be like solve problem, and like just someone to be there when he's feeling bad, and then like give him a hug, and then just be more sympathy, be more emotional, be more like there for him from the heart, not only solve the problem and then that's it. He just needs some kind of how warm company. And this Seven of Chalices show that this is his anxiety with you. Maybe because you're so full, you do not like need someone to complete you. You're very confident, you're independent, not gonna be codependent on anyone. So I can figure why, I can easily understand why there are a lot of people surrounded you want to have you, and that makes him very anxious. He knows that you are very loyal and you are strong, but somehow he has the anxiety inside his heart, inside his mind, that he's not good enough for you, and somehow if he do something bad, you will easily like get away from him and choose another better one. So he's somehow feeling very uh not that self-worth enough to be with you, and like a little bit worried that he may lose you. And because of that reason, what he really wants to do in the relationship with you is he always perceives you as a queen of swords like this. You're very intelligent, you're very independent, and you don't need anyone to complete you or codependent, or you're not codependent on anyone. So he also wants to be like that. This is very crazy because this is like the perfect match of a couple in the tarot deck. This is the Queen of Swords and this is the King of Swords. He also wants to be the one who is full of himself. Full of himself in here, not meaning in a bad thing, but it's like he's confident, like he meets your standards. He wants to be worthy for you. So congratulations, group 4. You have a very loyal and lovable man of you right here, but I also want to give you like an advice from the goddess, to give you the idea on what you can do in this kind of situation with him. Let's see what goddess want to give you the advice. I will use the uh, deck of the goddess from Colette Baron Raid to see that which goddess want to give you the advice in this kind of situation or relationship. We got Maya, illusion. Let's see what goddess Maya wants to give you advice. What advice she wants to give to you. Okay, I will read from the book about Maya. The goddess Maya has come to give you some clarity now. How have you been in denial about your life lately? Have you been chasing after an outcome that eludes you? Do you want to believe in something or someone so badly, perhaps drawn by a potential you hope to see come to fruition, that you have lost your way and given your power over to them? Your alignment test is to summon your courage and be willing to see things as they really are, rather than the way you want them to be. Be honest with yourself. The goddess Maya understands the seduction of the illusion of separation. After all, she created the illusion of the individual self. Once the illusion has faded, you are free to choose another path, another way, and other people to connect deeply with. This is a wonderful time to do a self-inventory of your life, how you love, what you believe, who you follow, why you choose to live the way you do. When the goddess Maya comes to break down illusions and delusions, it is a very auspicious sign. So basically, if goddess Maya has come and give you the advice like that, I'm thinking that you are also seeing that man is beneath you, so he does not meet up your standards, your requirement, and somehow you see that there are better men, maybe richer, maybe more intelligent, maybe more successful than your man. Like you are thinking about option two. That's what I'm saying. uh uh you're somehow like not like the way your man thinking. Maybe you also pick the points that your man really thinks that he's beneath you, and somehow you don't like that kind of anxious, and maybe you perceive that as not mature, but just really deeply thinking about what you really want in a relationship. What do you want? You want marriage? You want successful relationship? You want a rich man only, or you want just a simple, caring, loving man of you? And once once you decide what you want, go for it and never looking back. This is also like this is also better for both you and him, even no matter what the result is. If it's meant to be, it will meant to be. If it's not meant to be, the breakup will come to an end. And it's also a breakup you may be perceived as a bad thing, but just perceive it as a very good escape for you and your man to find a more suitable person, to find what you really want, and not gonna have the conflict in your mind and somehow like have the feeling that your man may be beneath you anymore, and that is not a good feeling. So just take a deep thinking about what you really want, and once you really decided that, just go for it and never look back. If you chose this man who is I perceive as a very simple, loving, caring man and really appreciate you, and somehow you are really in a reality you are really more successful than him, you are very confident, and maybe this man is younger than you, or not gonna, or did not like achieve as much as you do, so that's why he has that kind of low self-esteem. So just talk with him and ease his mind, and just be there with him, like to support, like I'm like just like encourage him to do whatever he wants to make him like be more successful, and then just calm his mind that you're not gonna take any of this. Self-esteem is very important, as he's very anxious about. Or if you cannot accept that the man is beneath you, just talk very straightforward, but not hurtful, not that hurtful. Of course it hurts, but just talk straightforward what you really want in a relationship, what you really want in a man, and just like accept the fact that you guys are not belong together and move on. So whenever the crossroad that you have, it's time for you to decide to turn left or right. Okay, so that is for deck number 3, and thank you for being here with me, and hope you enjoy the reading. If you want to more deeper and further reading inside this topic, link in the description, and all the informations you need also in the description. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye bye. Okay, it's time for our last deck, which is deck number 4 for whoever choose the green eye pencil. So let's have a look at group 4. We have, this is what your core personality, what he perceived you maybe even before the relationship, what he sees from your personality within the relationship, what kind of personality traits that he really like or interested about you, what kind of personality traits that he's made afraid or don't like about you, and this is what he wants to do with you. So okay, we have a very interesting kind of deck. So at first, even before the relationship or at your core personality, he really see you as a very adventurous girl or boy. But I assume because like my viewers often is girls, so he sees you as a very adventurous person. It's like you never back down from a very strange environment. You always want to discover new things by the aid of fire here. Aid of fire here is like you have no kind of afraid or shy away from mysterious land. You really want to discover new and new and new every day. And also you are very like the girl who doesn't afraid to show her emotion, even her wicked side of emotion. So maybe you appeared as a very naive, very young, very active, and even very vulnerable girl, and he really appreciates it because he thinks that those kind of girls are the truthful girls. It's like you do not wear any mask. You do not need to prove to him that how strong you are. It's just the way you are, and maybe you are much younger than him, or you perceive life or your mindset is much more naive and much younger than him. And that's what he's really like, and he really feels like he wants to protect you. So this is what he feels like after in a relationship with you, which is Ace of Cups or Ace of Chalices and Ace of Pentacles. You are the one who show, maybe you have Venus or Moon in Earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, because the way you show love to him is very practical. For example, if he really tired after a working day and he come home, you are not the kind of girl who say, you're tired, just get rest and be more healthy, I hope you feel better. No, you're just silent and go straight to the kitchen, make him something good, or go straight to the pharmacy, buy him some medicine and make him take them to make him really feel better. So it's not only about words, you actually showing your love by doing things. And even it's the smallest thing in the world, it means that you really care, like the smallest thing from him, and that is what he really appreciates. And that, I think that is the core, that's why he's really loving you. So come to the straight that he very appreciates from you the most is Eight of Scrolls and the Poet, which is King of Scrolls. So I believe that you are a very adventurous girl and maybe curiosity. So it's sometimes you may be overly excited from new information, new journey, new kind of knowledge, and you maybe easily get overwhelmed with it. But this is a good overwhelm. It's like you perceive the world as a non-stop mysterious things that you need to learn day by day, and there is no such thing is like you know it all. You never perceive yourself as the know-it-all. It's like you know so very little, and the world has so much knowledge to offer for you, and you cannot wait to day by day gain more new knowledge as much as possible. And when you gain those kind of knowledge, you also want to share to other people what you know and discuss about it. And also, if you are wrong at something or you do not know something, other people can share it back to you, and by that you can even learn more. So what I'm gonna say it like to summarize these kind of traits is you are a very like to learn, very hardworking people who can stop learning new knowledges and willingly to share to other people, and openly mind to every kind of opinions or different knowledge from every people in the world, in order to make your own library even more various, even more many kind of knowledge as much as possible. And that is why he really likes that from you. Maybe you also have the Mercury in kind of air sign, so Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. It's like non-stop of learning, and really put what you learn into the discussion in order to make what you learn even more carefully, and like you understand in the very better ways. And now coming to the personal traits that he's most afraid from you is the stars and the seven of swords. So the stars is talking about someone who is like in this kind of cards, I will have to say the stars has the meaning of someone who chase what is not real, what is so far away, but continuously chase, even though, and maybe they really do not recognize that they never gonna get that star. He really thinks that you need to be down to earth more. Maybe it needs to be more mature. As I said, I really think that you are very young, or young in heart, young in mind, comparing to him. So he really thinks you should need to be more practical, more down to earth, and focus on the real life more than just like gaining knowledges from everywhere. Maybe start by gaining knowledge that can benefit for your life. For example, that can benefit you in a financial way. It's like you will be better performer in your job, or kind of knowledge, and put it into practical work from for you to make money, or for you to earn the position that you are really deserve. And seven of swords is like he's really afraid that because you are the person who yearns for freedom. Maybe you have moon or sun in Sagittarius, so it's like you don't want any kind of commitment. It's like you are a very adventurous girl who always like eager to find the new things, go everywhere, free, to be free, to not be told what to do, to learn everything as possible. So he's really afraid that maybe at some point that you find him very boring, not worth your knowledge, not worth your time anymore, not interesting enough for you anymore, or you are a person who has a tendency in the past to just leave the boyfriend, leave the girlfriends out of the relationship because out of chemistry. It's like that person is not interesting enough anymore. It's not mysterious enough anymore. You know already about them and just leave them like that. So he's really afraid that one time you will run away because the fire has gone, or you do not find him as attractive, as interesting as like in the first day anymore. So and because of that, what he wants to do in this kind of relationship is to prove to you that he can be, it's like he can be your minivan, he can be your caravan. It's like it's the home that you can travel with anytime. He wants to make you feel like home with him. He's the home for you. He provides everything you need, and also he also very interesting, very willingly to go with you on any kind of adventures to discover the world. maybe he's also like to discover the world, but as not as dreamy, as not as curiosity as you. So he wants to be your home in everywhere. He wants to follow you everywhere. He wants to be with you 24/7. But he also wants to make you as freedom as much as possible. He really wants to cooperate you. Maybe he really wants to be your boyfriend, but also in a kind of best friend way. It's like have fun with you, nothing so much important. And and also he knows that you are not maybe the girl who is not very like the idea of commitment. So he's also fine to like have a relationship with you, but with no kind of intentionally talking about marriage. So you guys can be like an unmarried couple, but just happily living forever and after together as boyfriend and girlfriend. Maybe also do not have children also, and just gonna have fun day by day and do things with you and have fun with you and just, pardon me, but I have to say, like, freak the world together with each other. It's like us vs against the world, and just forget everything and go with each other and discover new lands. So in this kind of situation, I want to pull out a goddess advice card, which is from the deck called the Goddess from College Bottom Red Goddess Power. So to see what goddess wants to give you the advice in this kind of situation. Is Ipona. Let me read to you about Ipona to see what she wants to say to you. I will read to you for Ipona. Being overly assertive and determined to take actions is not in your favor at this time. If you feel afraid of making a mistake or worry that you will somehow compromise yourself or disappoint someone else, consider this a time to regroup and assess the details. As the goddess Epona knows, not all paths are meant to be explored, not all battles are meant to be fought, and not all opportunities will pan out. Beware of the tendency to overreach. You have come a long way, and the best leader knows when to take a break. Your task is to hold back and breathe deeply, trusting fully that when the time comes to act, the goddess Epona will guide you. You don't want to act too soon out of fear and insecurity, or even by hubris, as you will surely slip and lose your stance. Take heart, for this is the perfect moment for the time out to see what the goddess Epona truly has for you. The divine has you safe and secure. You just need to wait. So I assume that if this goddess card has come out as an advice for you, you may really thinking about like this kind of relationship is somehow in a declining phase, which is each of you did not find the others as interesting as like in the beginning. So in some kind of way you start to thinking about maybe separate or break up, and just continuing like on your adventure and maybe find a new one. Well, actually, Epona advise you to take a step back and slowly thinking about, do you really want this? It is not a good time to make a rash decision, because you may miss your once chance of a lifetime about true love, and not everyone could have this true love in their life, and you had it. So you must be very carefully thinking, because once you make a decision, it may gone forever and it never come back into your life, and you may regret like after this. So if you really not want like a long-term relationship right now, or not that much too serious, or somehow you're the other one has made something that make you upset and make you don't want to put your effort into the relationship anymore, try to talk it out. If it cannot resolve, then decide, but do not make any rash decision out of the argument or out of the boredom. Maybe you will miss like some kind of good opportunity that every others want to seek for all their lives, and you already got it. So Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the reading. And if you want to further reading about this topic, you can see in my description. Every information is there. But for now, thank you for being with me, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.